Welcome. Let's take a look at the following rational expression and let's try to rewrite it using partial fraction decomposition. The first thing that we're going to do, we're going to take a look at the denominator, which in this case is x to the third plus 4x. And we're going to see if we can factor that out. So the numerator, I'm just going to rewrite it. But notice that the expression in the denominator, I can factor out a variable of x. So I can factor that out as x times x squared plus 4. And now that we have factored out the denominator, now we can talk about the setup. We're going to see how many expressions do we have on the denominator, which in this case, there's only two, x and x squared plus 4. So I'm going to use each of those expressions as the denominator of some new fractions. So I'm going to have a new fraction that has a denominator of x, and I'm going to have another fraction which has the expression of x squared plus 4 on the denominator. And that's our setup. But now we encounter a problem. What are the numerators for each of those fractions? Now let's talk about the process to find those. But there's one relationship that we are going to use, and that is that the degree of the numerator is always one lower than the degree of the denominator. So let's look at each fraction individually. When I take a look at my first fraction, I can see that the degree it is of a value of 1. So therefore, in my first fraction, I must have an expression of degree 0. But degree 0 are just expressions that are constants. In other words, they're just numbers. Maybe it is a 3, maybe it is just a 4, maybe it is a negative 20. I do not know what value that is. So I'm going to use a placeholder. Let me call that placeholder capital A. Now let's move to the second fraction. It has a denominator of x squared plus 4. And the degree of the denominator, it is of 2. So therefore, the numerator must be of degree 1. But expressions of degree 1, there are expressions that represent a line, which has the standard form of y equals mx plus b. But m and b are constants, they're numbers. When it comes to partial fraction decomposition, constants or numbers are always capital letters. So I'm just going to rewrite this fraction as just capital AX plus capital B, which again, A and B are just numbers. They're just constants. They're placeholders. But if I take a look at this expression and I rewrite it as a placeholder of a linear expression in the numerator, we encounter a problem. And that is that we have already used A in the first fraction. But remember that they're just placeholders. I'm going to rewrite that linear expression as bx plus c. So now we have a more defined objective. We need to find out the value of those coefficients, a, b, and c. Because the moment that we do, now we can precisely define the expressions that are needed in the numerator. Let's try to make this problem a little bit more manageable. What we can do, we can look at the denominator of the given rational, and we can multiply that expression on both sides. So this is the multiplication on the left. So this is the multiplication in the right. Well, what's the benefit of this? Well, when we distribute on the left-hand side, x will cancel out with this x, and the expression of x squared plus 4 will cancel out with the expression of x squared plus 4. So the only thing that is left is just the numerator. Well, keep in mind that this expression has two terms, so we need to distribute this multiplication. Well, when I perform my first distribution, the expression of x will cancel out with the expression of x. So the only thing that is going to be left, it is a times x squared plus 4. And when we distribute to the second term, the expression of x squared plus 4, they will cancel out. So the only thing that's going to be left to be multiplied, it is the expression of bx plus c times x. And again, let's pause and let's not get confused in our calculation. The objective, it is to find the placeholders of a, b, and c, which now we can find them in this location. Next, let's take a look at the right-hand side, and let's try to expand this as much as possible. When we perform our first distribution, we're going to get ax squared. When we perform the next distribution, we're going to get 4 times a, which I'm going to represent it as 4a. Let's bring down the plus. Now let's distribute in here. So we're going to get bx times x, which I'm going to represent it as bx squared. And the last distribution is c times x, which I'm just going to represent it as cx. So this is starting to look a little bit confusing. So how about we organize this result? I'm going to be grouping using the variables in the expression. Well, what do I mean by that? Well, I'm going to go from the highest degree to the lowest degree. On the right-hand side, I have two expressions that they use the variable of x squared. So I'm going to be grouping the constant. For the first one is a, for the second one is b. And I'm going to take out what they have in common, which is x squared. Even though this looks different, we are just rewriting the expression. Because if we were to perform the first distribution, we're going to obtain ax squared, which is what we have. If I were to distribute the second one, we're going to get bx squared, which is what we have. So now let's go down to one variable less, which is just x. On the right-hand side, there's only one term that has an x on it. So let me just bring that down. That's the groups with the variable of x. And now let's make another group with just the constants. And there's only one term on it, the term that does not have any variable. And on the right-hand side is represented as 4a. Let's bring down the left-hand side and let's talk about the benefit of doing this. Let's keep in mind of what we're doing. We are working with an equation. And the idea of an equation is to find out values that will make the whole left-hand side equals to the whole right-hand side. Well, one way to make this happen is to match coefficients of the same variable. On the left-hand side, here we have the expression with x squared on it. Well, let's match it with the expression that also has x squared in the right-hand side. So let's just set the coefficients of x squared in the left and the right equal to each other. Now let's move to the next group, the groups with the variable of x. In the left-hand side, I just have the expression of negative x. And if I want them to be equal to each other, I need to set it equal to the expression that also has an x in the right-hand side. So let's just set the coefficients equal to each other. The coefficient in the right, it is the placeholder of c, and the coefficient in the left, it is the value of -1. And now let's set the last group equal to each other, the constants. The constant in the right, it is the expression of 4a, and the constant in the left, it is the expression of 4. So we have the equation of 4a equals to 4. So now notice how simple it is to find a, b, and c now. And actually, we already have the value of one of those coefficients that we were looking for. C is equivalent to -1. And on the equation in the right-hand side, I can divide it by 4. And I can get the value of the coefficient for a, which is equivalent to +1. The only coefficient that we're missing, it is b. And we can find it using the equation in the left. Because now we know that a is equivalent to 1. So how about I go to this equation and I plug in that value? And now we can subtract 1 to both sides. And now we have the value of the last coefficient that we were missing. B is equivalent to 1. So we are done. Let's go back to our setup and let's substitute the results that we have found for these coefficients. Let's remember our result. After some calculation, we found out that A had a value of 1, B had a value of 1 as well, and C had a value of -1. Well, let's substitute that. A, let's substitute it with +1. B, let's also substitute it with the value of 1. And C, let's substitute it with the value of -1. So we are done. This is our result. What we are saying is that this original rational expression that was given, it is equivalent to the summation of two smaller fractions, where the first one is 1 divided by x, and the second one is just x minus 1 divided by x squared plus 4. And the process of rewriting this fraction is what we call partial fraction decomposition. So let me convince you that what we were given, it is equal to what we found. Let's graph each equation individually and let's see if they have the same graph. Let's graph the equation that we were given, which is represented in the red graph in the right. And now let's graph our result. Notice that they are overlapping. They are essentially the same graph. We have verified that they are the same equation. They are equal to each other. Hello. If you would like to continue learning about mathematics, you can check out the videos on the left.